Hello. Thank you so much for watching, for joining me. I wanted to create this video today to talk about, how we can actually have the life that we truly desire, even when we feel so desperate because it feels like everything we're trying is just not working. Nothing is working for us. And I completely know this from my own experience over the years. But basically I hear women, or I read, I see women saying this a lot, I have tried so hard to help myself, or I've tried so hard to achieve blah, 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 or I've done so much healing. What is the reason? Why am I still struggling? What's happening for you? But in this real space of desperation, frustration, feeling really stuck. And it totally breaks my heart to hear women in this space, because that's exactly where I used to be, going back sort of 15 years or so. And actually what made me feel suicidal, because I just got to that point where I knew that I couldn't live the life that I was living, and I had tried for what felt like so many years. It probably was a good 7 years, if not more so, to help myself. But everything that I tried just wouldn't work. Nothing was working, nothing was healing, nothing was changing in my life. I was still in this really stuck space. So I want to tell you today that not to despair. Basically, it just means that you haven't found the right treatment for yourself until now. Okay. And it's about, and that's not your fault either. We don't know what we don't know until we do. And this was the thing, I kept seeking the answers, and I couldn't find them. And then literally one day, everything just started to drop in for me. So I teach, I mentor, I coach, I work with women to help them heal, to allow them to come into this space of, living the life that they want, feeling joy, feeling peace. So we're going to discuss in this live today, what's happening for you right now, to see whether this resonates, why those things are happening, what we can actually do straight away to start making changes, literally start making changes straight away. A bit about how my work works, and then what we need to do to go deeper, like what's next, what's the next step. So what's happening for you now? If you are anything like me, you probably know that there is work to be done. You probably get the feeling that you need some help in some way, but also you've been trying to help yourself for a long space of time. So you may well be in a similar space to where I was of, I tried all sorts of talking therapies, I tried medications, I'd been medicated for quite a long space of time, but nothing was working. I work with hypnotherapy, breathwork, human design, gene keys now. I even had some hypnotherapy of a sense, and even that didn't work. Again, I'm obviously a massive believer of hypnotherapy. What I understand from that now is that it was really sort of high level suggestion stuff that was never going to work. I needed the deep analytical hypnotherapy work that I work with my clients to be able to start shifting stuff. Okay, so the point is that you're potentially feeling really locked into life. You're probably feeling quite exhausted. You're probably having quite a few symptoms, maybe a few health issues, physical issues, maybe. You feel like you've got no energy to help yourself, but also you've tried so many fucking things that you're in this space of, I don't think I can take anymore. I'm just going to have to somehow live this life that I'm living, and this just be okay, you know, I'm gonna have to almost numb out to this just being what life is all about. Okay, this is the space that I was in before my healings really started to fall into place, and this is the space that women, my clients, come to me from as well. So they have, you know, they are highly intelligent, incredible women that have seriously tried to help themselves in the past, knowing that there are things that, you know, need to be worked on, need to be unlocked, but they just haven't been able to find the right thing for themselves until we start working together. Okay, so we know that we need to go deeper. You know, you are, if you're listening to this video, you are highly likely to be, or this live, you're highly likely to be in this space of knowing that, just, you know, this really strong knowing that you know that your life can be better. You know deep down that there is more to life than feeling how you felt for probably, you know, possibly decades, certainly years. You know that there's more out there. You know, you kind of feel called that there's some answers somewhere, but you can't find them at the moment. Okay, and the reason, so you'll have this calling, but also the reason that you need, you know, to find the right work and do that deeper work is because you're feeling this real stuckness at the moment. You're probably having physical, you know, mental and emotional symptoms. So for example, anxiety, overwhelm, depression, procrastinating, imposter syndrome. There's, you know, just every symptom you can think of pretty much comes into play here, but there may well be some physical symptoms as well that are coming in. So, you know, basically, if you're feeling this stuckness, but you're also feeling that you don't want it, and you know that really on some level there's a better life out there for you, then absolutely, you know, stick with me on this video, learn a bit more. I'm gonna run some free courses soon that will go into this in even more depth as well, rather than these kind of shorter videos, and do a sequence of free courses so you can really get to know me, really get to know my work, and, you know, understand all the theories behind it as well, and why some things will work for us and some things won't. So the reason this stuckness will happen for us is because basically whatever happens to us is stored in our body. I'm getting my words all mixed up. In our body and also our subconscious mind. Okay, so whenever anything happens, any experience in life is going to potentially impact, you know, our body, and it's certainly going to be logged in our subconscious mind. Now, this is this kind of learning from our bodies, from our subconscious mind, is what then creates those patterns for us that create, or automatically run those programs, those patterns for us that then create, you know, our various behaviors, our traumatic responses, our physical issues, you know, that big explosive anger, you know, whatever it may be that's coming up for you. And what happens is, you know, this is locked into our body, as I say, into our subconscious mind. So to be able to actually start working with these, we need to be able to tap into both of these levels of healing. So what I mean by that is, you know, talking therapies, CBT, will work to a certain extent, and I would never, you know, poo-poo them. But if you've been there, if you've done it, if you know that you've got deep trauma, deep woundings, then it is just not going to work for you. What's happening with CBT, with kind of standard talking therapies, is you are dealing with the conscious part of the mind. Now, the conscious mind is a very small part of our mind, and it certainly isn't where we store kind of the root cause of our issues. That is within the subconscious. So we're kind of working, when we're working with the conscious mind, we're kind of working with, you know, that small element of the iceberg that sits above the water, and then we've got all the rest of the iceberg below the water that we're not working with. That is where our root cause, the root cause of our issues, physical, emotional, is going to lie. Okay, that's what we need to tap into. So this is why when we've done a whole world of therapies, maybe even coaching, and we've only tapped into that conscious mind, this is why when we, when we're medicated, we're not going to get into this root cause. To be able to make seriously powerful transformations, or transformations at all in our lives, we need to be tapping into the healing wisdom of our subconscious mind and our body. And as I say, conscious mind work will have its place, absolutely, but it is never going to help us to create those powerful transformations that we need, and we know we need, because we're stuck. We're so fucking stuck. And because we've tried these various things before as well, we know that we're not going to get out of the space that we're in right now just by continuing working with that. We can be in counselling, talking therapies for the rest of our lives and not be able to get to this root cause healing within the subconscious, within the body wisdom. What was I going to say then? And the thing is, if we don't learn to work with the right areas of our body and our mind to release this, these symptoms are sadly only going to get worse for us. So if we are having panic attacks, for example, at the moment, or we've got anxiety at the moment, or depression at the moment, if we don't know how to work with our subconscious mind and our body, if we don't learn, and we don't put ourselves out there to learn as well and learn what we need, then we are going to keep going around this vicious cycle, and it is highly likely to get worse for us, sadly. Again, that is something that I experienced in my own healing journey. As I say, that started 15 years ago, and I'll talk about my story a bit more on the free course that I'm going to run as well. But my initial healing that I needed to do was around childhood abuse trauma. But then as that continued over the years, because I didn't know how to work with it, how to heal myself, I didn't even know that I could, in all honesty. All of that trauma, all of that fear almost compounded, and everything, by the time I was almost about to turn 30, was an absolute shitstorm. And I just felt that I couldn't carry on. So this is why this work is so important for me to do and for me to talk about. So what we can do is we can actually bring about these changes really quite quickly, relatively quickly, actually very efficiently, because our body and our subconscious minds know exactly what we need. They have so much wisdom. They have so much power, magical power. They know what we need to do to be able to heal ourselves. So my job, I refer to myself now as an intuitive empowerment coach, but my job basically is to kind of guide you, lead you to your transformation, lead you through it, and also be a huge, deep, supportive space for you, holding that deep supportive space for you. This is my mission. This is what I've been put on this earth to do. I also know for me personally, this is why I've experienced the things that I've experienced within my life, so that I can bring this work to other women as well. It is just the most incredible work to be able to do, and I'm so grateful to be able to do that. And the you ladies that come and work with me, oh my word, you blow my mind, honestly. Incredible women who have just got so much strength, even though I know most of the time when they come to me, they're feeling so super broken at that point. But oh my God, you are so strong. If you're listening to this, you're in that camp. You are so damn strong. So what we need to know what we need to learn is how we tap into this body wisdom, how we tap into this subconscious mind to actually help ourselves heal. Okay. So as I say, I started off my entrepreneurship as a hypnotherapist. Loved hypnotherapy, still love hypnotherapy, because that is the one therapy that really started to unlock things for me, to create powerful transformations for me 15 years ago. As soon as I had my first ever session of, proper deep hypnotherapy, healing hypnotherapy, I would say, rather than just suggestion hypnotherapy, which is absolutely what I needed. As soon as I had that session, I thought, I need to do this for my job. This is just incredible. It was a highly emotional session, but oh my God, just amazing, and released. Just the release, the freedom that I felt literally just from that first session, I cannot explain it. It was just so freeing. It was just such an amazing session. And that, that I continued as a therapy, going forwards as well. So, that's another thing I meant to say. Sorry, I'm just skipping back to talking about sort of CBT, working with the conscious mind. We can sometimes re-traumatize ourselves as well if we are working from that conscious mind point, because we're bringing things up that we're then almost kind of putting in a pot to kind of think about, stew on potentially, and actually could then end up re-traumatizing ourselves. So we need to be really careful. You will never come to a session with me and me say to you, right, we're going to relive an abuse event, for example. I am never going to ask you to talk me through anything that has really traumatized you. Your subconscious, your body will know exactly what you need to do, where you need to go. I guide you into that space. I guide you through the session, but we will never ever, go into anything that your mind, your body doesn't want to go into. Okay, so coming back to how I work. So I started off with hypnotherapy. I then built in human design, gene keys, and breathwork into my work. So the hypnotherapy works with the subconscious mind, the magic of the subconscious. It allows us to connect in with the subconscious. So the subconscious can firstly identify why we're feeling the way we're feeling, why these things are happening for us in life. But then it can also help us to release and resolve them, like literally release and resolve them. Okay, there's no sticking plasters on, there's no needing to manage anything, cope with anything. We can release stuff, we can fully release stuff for good using hypnotherapy. The breath work then helps us to work with the body's wisdom around releasing, the kind of the trauma energy within the body that needs to be released for us to be. This is all about us being able to move forwards in life and create this, joyful life that we want to live, and that will make all sorts of changes in our world, and make changes in our relationships, in our work, how we show up for our business, how much money that we then make, all of these sorts of things. The breath work will also help us to, this is all about kind of emotional regulation and nervous system regulation, but the breath work specifically will help us with that nervous system regulation as well, so that we can feel safe in this world. And that can often be a subconscious thing, that we feel unsafe. Normally we don't necessarily know that that's happening for us, and this was still happening for me after quite a lot of trauma clearing, if I'm honest. And this unsafety, this unsafety was creating for me financial issues still. So it was something that I couldn't ignore, which was great. But it was causing all sorts of stop starts with finances and kind of dipping back into that survival mode almost, and then coming back, and you know, it would be inconsistent money coming in and then a massive bill, so it would drain a load of money out, and I couldn't work out for a little while what was causing this, because I didn't understand that my body, you know, my body and my mind was still actually feeling more comfortable with feeling unsafe than it was with feeling safe. So that was a bit more work. So the breath work will help to regulate that nervous system, to help with, I mean, all of the work will, but to help with this feeling so safe, so secure within ourselves that we can just fucking be ourselves. Our abundance can flow. Our peace of mind can just be there. You know, our joy can flow into our lives, into our relationships. We can, you know, parent better. We can connect more with our kids, with our partners, with our family. I mean, you know, the whole world just then opens up, and I promise you, it is the most joyful experience. I don't even need to promise you that, do I? Because you know this already. But it is just so freeing, and there are so many times where, you know, I can literally just burst into tears because I'm so grateful that I've understood all of this and that I could help myself, and that is what helps me help the ladies that I work with. So if this resonates with you, if you're sitting there thinking, oh my god, yes, yes, then do book a call with me. You can go in via my cover page on my personal page, on my Facebook personal page, sorry, Anna Rushmer. You can go in and book a call through there. You can also link through into my free Facebook group from my cover photo on my personal page, on my Facebook personal page as well. So feel free to do that. But connect with me. I offer connection calls, 45-minute free connection calls, where we can talk about absolutely whatever's happening for you right now. You know, all of my work is bespoke, is completely, you know, based on what every individual client needs. Because of the high level of support that I offer, I just have 2 spaces open at the moment for women to come in and work with me on my kind of complete life overhaul program, which is called Surviving to Thriving Mastermind Program. So if that feels like it's something you'd like to talk about, then by all means, you know, talk to me, connect with me, book a call, DM me, you know, whatever feels right for you. My calls with any prospective client are not in any way sales calls. It is purely about connection, and you know, I know that the women that are meant to work with me and that I'm meant to work with will invite me to work with them. That is the way it works, and I'm fully on board, fully in flow with that. So if you're in a space of knowing that, you know, you want to deeply understand who you are on an energetic level, you know, what you need in terms of emotional regulation, nervous system regulation, what it is that you need to unblock. So there will be, you know, shadows that we kind of know about, we're more conscious about. So these will be the shadows that we can see really clear symptoms of now at the moment. So whether that's mental symptoms like anxiety, whether it's physical symptoms like body pain, whether it's financial systems like our, you know, our money flow's not working. So what's going on? You know, there are those more conscious shadows, but then also there are those deeper, really deep shadows, I would say, that we don't know are even playing out for us. And one of those for me was that safety thing. But we can work this all out. So we can work it out through your human design chart, your gene keys chart. We can work it out through hypnotherapy, and we can work it out through working with the body, the breath work. So we've done the understanding, we've done the unblocking, and then we look at this, you know, massive up leveling of our lives. Okay, this is when we've done this stuff, when we truly understand ourselves, when we truly understand where we're blocked, which we remember we're using the subconscious and we're using the body, the whole magic of the subconscious and the body to tell us this stuff. It is so exciting. I love it. We don't have to consciously know what's happening at all. It is honestly, I just love it, as you can probably tell. So this is when the massive up leveling happens. Okay, we're going in to this like complete life overhaul. We're like, it is actually, this is my core genius within my human design is about, you know, breaking out. I can see people's patterns really easily, and I can almost see them from like a bird's eye point of view. So I can often see what other people can't see as well. But it's like going in, pulling apart, breaking up all the shitty patterns that we've learned throughout our lives through no faults of our own, I hasten to add. But we're breaking up all of those shitty patterns, and we're then reassembling the patterns that we should have, you know, the new possibilities, the new patterns, the new behaviors. We're reassembling all of those to, whilst really understanding our unique gifts, our, you know, our superpowers. We're reassembling everything to create this new, incredible, up-leveled path for ourselves. Honestly, it is so damn exciting. And that is where you're going to start seeing these quantum leaps within every aspect of life, you know, work, business, abundance, relationships, peace of mind, feeling real joy, you know, getting to the point that I am, where I can literally walk in the woods and just burst into tears because I'm so fucking happy to be alive, which is incredible. When 15 years ago I couldn't face, like, I truly felt like I couldn't face, you know, even another day at some points. So what next? Drop me a line, connect with me. Whatever way feels good for you is absolutely fine with me. Join my free Facebook group if you haven't done already. And then, yeah, let's chat. And then I will run a free course as well shortly, which will go into this in more depth. If you already feel like you want to apply to work with me, then I would suggest to do so, you know, relatively soon, because as I say, I just have a couple of spaces at the moment. So if you want to get in before the free course runs, in case, you know, calls get super busy, then by all means do. It would be so lovely to connect with you, and please know that the life that you want, that life that you truly dream of, and you know really that you deserve, especially after all the shit you've been through and all of the ways that you've tried to help yourself, just know it's out there, and it is there for you to have, for you to take, and you totally fucking deserve it. Thank you so much for listening. Anna Rashma, connect with me on Facebook, and I will catch up with you soon.